Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I hope you guys are doing well today. So today's video I am really excited to do because it is going to be if I could only keep one from each of the brands that I have two or more eyeshadow palettes from. It's going to be a long one, I feel like, so let's go ahead and get started. So I did want to go ahead and start with Colourpop first. I do have quite a bit of Colourpop palettes. Let me go ahead and show you each palette, and then I will show you which one I would keep. So starting off, I do have the Colourpop Meant to Be palette. Here is what this one looks like. Really enjoy this one a lot. I think it's pretty great quality as well, especially for pastels. I have the Going Coconuts palette from Colourpop, also a really nice neutral palette. I then have the Colourpop Blue Moon palette, which I really think is super beautiful, and I think it's a great blue eyeshadow palette. I think they did really well with this one, with it just having a lot of depth to it and a lot of options for blue eyeshadow. Then I have the Colourpop It's My Pleasure palette, which I thoroughly enjoy. I have created the most beautiful looks with this one, so I really do enjoy that one. Then I have the Colourpop Give It To Me Straight palette, which is actually my very first Colourpop palette ever. I really do enjoy this one. Flawless looks that are created with this one. Very work appropriate every day. I know for sure that I can go in with this palette and whatever I create, I will love. Then I have the Femme Rosa or She palette. This one is kind of a one-trick pony in the sense of a lot of the looks that I create are pretty similar, but I still really love the color story. I think it's so girly and feminine and just really, I don't know, like sultry, I guess. I really do enjoy the color story of that one. Then I have the Colourpop Element of Surprise. This one is discontinued, I believe, and yeah, it's just one of their older ones, but also really love the color story of that one. Then I have the Sweet Talk palette, which is actually a lot of people's favorites, and I think this is perfect for spring as well. And then I have the Through My Eyes palette, which was in collaboration with I Love Sarai. And this is just a stunning eyeshadow palette. Beautiful color story. And finally, this is the Colourpop Stone Cold Fox palette, and this is actually the one that I would keep if I had to get rid of all of my palettes from Colourpop. This is the one that I would keep. I love it so much. I love the versatility with this one. I love the cool toned neutrals that are in this palette. Yeah, I just really do enjoy this one, and I think it's great for every day, and I'm really excited to get more use out of it. This is my newest Colourpop palette, and honestly, I love it so much. All right, next brand is Urban Decay, and I do have two eyeshadow palettes from Urban Decay. I do have my newest palette, which is the Urban Decay Stoned Vibes palette. This one is one that I recently purchased. I think it's really beautiful and pretty unique as well. Really do enjoy that one. And then I have the Urban Decay Naked Honey, which is the one that I would keep if I had to, I guess, get rid of all of my Urban Decay palettes. I really do enjoy this color story. I think it complements brown eyes really well. So this is the one that I would keep from Urban Decay. All right, so now we're gonna go ahead and do ABH. I do have 3 palettes from ABH. I've definitely decluttered some of my palettes from ABH, so I really don't feel like I have very many. Firstly, I do have my ABH Norvina palette. This is so stunning. I absolutely love this color story. I think it's so beautiful and really nice for spring as well. I will say I think mine is getting old though, because the last couple of times I've used it, I can just see a decline in formula, so that's kind of unfortunate, but it happens. This is the ABH Jackie Aina palette that I have. Super fun and unique color story. Really enjoy this one a lot. And then lastly, I do have the ABH Sultry palette, which is the one that I would keep. This is just such a beautiful palette. This is like my holiday palette. This is my special occasion palette. I think it's so beautiful. Anytime I want something really smoky and sultry and just kind of sexy looking, I go for this one. I really, really enjoy the looks that I come up with when I use this one, and this is definitely by far the one that I would keep in a heartbeat, no question about it. All right, so next up we do have Too Faced. I have quite a bit of palettes from Too Faced. I really enjoy, honestly, the formula and the color stories that they come up with. And so the first palette that I have from Too Faced is the Natural Lust palette. This one I think is really beautiful for spring especially. This is one that I picked up from TJ Maxx a couple of years ago at this point, and I like it. It is probably like my least favorite because I never really gravitate towards it, but this is one of my Too Faced palettes. Then my newest Too Faced palette is the Too Faced Pumpkin Spice. This is their fall palette from 2020, so just last year, and this is a stunning palette. Really enjoy the color story. Smells really good. Yeah, smells good. And then I do have the Too Faced Born This Way Natural Nudes palette. This is honestly super beautiful. I had this in my Stop My Stash fairly recently, and honestly, it's so beautiful. I loved how like everyday this palette is and how quick and easy it was for me just to come up with the look. So really do enjoy that one. Then we have the original Too Faced Gingerbread Spice palette. So this is the very first gingerbread palette they came up with. And honestly, I love this one so much as well. You guys know how much I love these Too Faced palettes. And then the one that I would keep actually is the Too Faced Gingerbread Extra Spicy palette. I don't know what it is, but I just love this palette so much. I know that a lot of people give hate to these gingerbread palettes because they say that they look way too similar to one another, but honestly, I think they're great. I think the formula is really great. I love the smell of these. I think that they're perfect for fall because of how like warm and toasty they are. So honestly, I just love them so much, and I would miss them dearly if I didn't have them anymore, but this is definitely the one that I would keep. All right, so next up we have Dose of Colors, and I have a lot of Dose of Colors palettes actually. The first one is the Blushing Berries palette. These that I'm gonna show you are all of their like 5-pan matte palettes. Really do enjoy this one. It's really beautiful. The formula, the quality of these 5 pans are great. I also have the Pretty Cool palette, which honestly I love so much. I think it's so beautiful. I know that this is really boring to some people, but I think it's stunning, especially paired with like a Super Shock shadow. Then I have the Dose of Colors Baked Browns, which again, I love so much. I think it's perfect for every day, just to kind of throw in the crease and add a lid shade. Really, really love this one. Then I do have the Dose of Colors Marvelous Mauves palette, and this one is just basically what it's called, the Mauves. And then finally, and the palette that I would keep is the Dose of Colors Friendcation palette. The reason I would keep this one, I don't even know like if it is my favorite Dose of Colors palette, but honestly, I just love this shade so much. I love just throwing it on the lid. It's beautiful as like a topper shade, as something to just really amp up your look. So I thoroughly enjoy this one, and this is definitely the one that I would keep, although I really do love all of my Dose of Colors palettes. All right, so now we're gonna go ahead and get into e.l.f. So I do have the e.l.f. Retro Paradise palette. This is the palette that they came out with last summer. I think it's really beautiful, honestly. The color story is really nice, and honestly, the quality is pretty good. Then we do have the little bite-size palette. This is the e.l.f. bite-size eyeshadow palette in Rose Water. Really beautiful. I love this one to wear to work, just to pretty much throw one of these shades all over the lid. Really do enjoy that one. And then this one, comment below if you remember this holiday collection, if you like used it, if you bought it, what have you. This is the e.l.f. Modern Metals palette. Love this one, and this is the one that I would keep, believe it or not. I think the quality of this palette is so good. it is amazing. I created a look where I combined like the mustard and the blue together, and it was so beautiful. So this is definitely the one that I would keep. I know that it's no longer available and you can't get your hands on anymore, but the formula of this palette is so good. So this is definitely the one that I would keep from e.l.f. All right, so now let's go ahead and move on to the next brand. So next up I have Natasha Denona. So I do have the mini retro palette. You've heard me speak about this one recently. This is one that I definitely recommend if you love pink eyeshadow. Then I have the mini glam palette from her. This is a really nice everyday palette as well, especially if you're more into cool toned neutrals. I then have the Natasha Denona Metropolis palette. Really do enjoy this one. I haven't gotten much use out of it, but I do enjoy it a lot. Then I have the Glam palette from her. Again, haven't used it as much as I would like, but it's such a stunning palette. Then we have the Bronze palette from her, and this is definitely beloved. So many people love this one, and for good reason. It's a great palette. Now, finally, you guys probably already knew which Natasha Denona palette I would pick and which one I would keep. And that is the Biba palette from her. It is such a great palette. I use it so much on my channel, or just in general. And this is actually part of my project 10 uses. So I'm actually trying to use this palette 10 times. I've obviously used it more than that, but I'm trying to use it 10 times just to get more use out of it because it's a very expensive palette, and I did pay full price for it. So the Biba palette is definitely one that I would keep. All right, so now we're gonna get into Kaja. And at first I wasn't sure which one if I would consider these as like eyeshadow palettes, but I am. This is the Kaja Bento eyeshadow trios, and this is in the shade Orange Blossom. So this is what this one looks like. It just has 3 really nice warm toned shimmer shades. There's no mattes in this one. Really beautiful still though. So that is Orange Blossom. Then I have Rose Water, which is another all shimmer one, but I still really do enjoy this one. This is probably one of my favorites. And then here is the final shade there. All right. And then the one that I would keep if I had to declutter them and keep this one, or keep one, I would keep Glowing Guava. This one is just more versatile because it does have the matte shades in it. So this one is definitely more mauve tones. This one performs so well. I really do enjoy the looks that I come up with when I use this one. It's just really easy, and I know exactly what look I'm gonna be creating. All right, now I have Ofra, and I do have 2 palettes from Ofra. The first one I have is the Empowered palette. This one is a really nice green eyeshadow palette, really beautiful. And then I have the collaboration that they did with Leora, and this is actually the palette that I would keep from Ofra. Because I love Leora and I really want to support her, this would definitely be the one that I would keep. But not only that, I just really enjoy this palette. I love how versatile it is. Even though it does only have 5 shades, I really do enjoy it. So this would definitely be the one that I would keep from Ofra. All right, so now we're getting into Huda Beauty, and from Huda Beauty I do have 2 palettes. I have the Nude Light Obsessions. So this is currently in my Shop My Stash actually. It's really beautiful. I love the shimmer shades in here. And then the second palette that I have from Huda is the Mercury Retrograde palette. And this is definitely the one that I would keep. I think it's so stunning. I absolutely love the shimmer shades in here. I think it's so beautiful, and I had a lot of fun with it. It was in one of my recent Shop My Stash rotations, and I really enjoyed it. So I would definitely keep Mercury Retrograde and get rid of this one if I had to, but I do enjoy both. All right, now we have Dominique Cosmetics. So from Dominique Cosmetics, I do have 2 eyeshadow palettes. I do have the Berries and Cream palette. This one is obviously, as it implies, just very berry toned and purple. Really do enjoy this. Dominique Cosmetics has a really great formula. And then I do have the Latte palette, which is actually the first palette that she came out with. And this is definitely the one that I would keep. Not only is it because I am a coffee lover, but I really love the shimmer shades in here. I love that it's more of a neutral palette, so I can wear it more day to day, but that would definitely be the one that I would keep for sure. And honestly, the Berries and Cream palette is one that I'm considering decluttering anyways, so definitely Latte palette would be a keeper. All right, next up I do have BH Cosmetics, and I do have two palettes from BH. First off, I have the Aurora Lights palette. This is one of their baked eyeshadow palettes, and it's full of just beautiful shimmery shades. They're very metallic, and really, really love this one, especially to pair with those Dose of Colors matte eyeshadow palettes, the 5-pan ones that I showed earlier. And then I do have the BH Cosmetics Royal Affair palette, and this is definitely the one that I'd keep. This color story is so versatile. It offers so much. I feel like you can go in very different directions with this palette. You can go cool tones. You can do a little bit more of like a warmer look if you want. You can definitely do something colorful with like that bright pop of green. And I just really enjoy this one. I think it's so beautiful, and I love just how versatile it is. And so this is definitely the one that I would keep from BH Cosmetics. I want to try more from BH Cosmetics, but there just hasn't really been a palette that is speaking to me color story wise. And so you know, I definitely want to try one of their newer palettes, but I shall see if they come out with one that interests me. But the formula from BH is great. So this is definitely the one that I'd keep, but I really enjoy both of them a lot. All right, so almost finished. I am like sweating in here with this lighting, and then I'm like digging back and forth between my collection. So I really hope that you enjoy this video because it has been a struggle. I now have Alter Ego, and Alter Ego is definitely more of a dupe brand. They really dupe a lot of eyeshadow they dupe a lot of eyeshadow palettes, mainly Natasha Denona, but I believe they actually just duped their first Pat McGrath palette. So that's exciting that they're moving on to a different brand. I love that they duped Natasha Denona, but of course they shouldn't just single her out, if you know what I mean. But Alter Ego has a great eyeshadow palette formula as well. I mean, it is great. I really enjoy their eyeshadow palettes. I have the Alter Ego palette, which is a dupe for the Natasha Denona Sunrise palette. They did such a good job with the formula of this one, and I really enjoy the color story. But the one that I would definitely keep hands down is the Alter Ego Goddess palette, which is supposed to dupe the Natasha Denona Gold palette. This is such a stunning palette. Again, the formula is absolutely amazing. I just love the pops of like mustards and blue and green in this palette. And ultimately, it's so beautiful. I love the looks that I come up with when I use it, and I think it's really unique to my collection and just in general. I know that they copied Natasha Denona, but it's a great color story. All right, and lastly, I will be so excited to take a break after this. I have Juvia's Place, and surprisingly, I have 3 eyeshadow palettes from Juvia's Place. That's surprising to me because it's not one of my favorite brands by any means. I don't really gravitate towards their stuff. Their color stories really intimidate me, to be honest, and their like regular like base products, like, you know, foundations, concealers, highlights, blushes, all of those don't really appeal to me that much. So they're just a brand that really doesn't appeal to me very much. But I have 3 palettes from them, which again is just crazy. But I do have the Juvia's Nubian 3 Coral palette. I don't know why I picked this one up, but I did whenever it came out, pretty soon after actually. The color story is really pretty, but I never use it. I never do. The formula is great though in this palette. It's amazing. And then I have the Magic Mini by Juvia's. This was definitely an inspired purchase from Kelly Gooch. She raves about this palette so much on her channel, and so I wanted to own it myself. I just love like this purple shade, this pinky shade up here. I just really love how versatile this is. And again, the quality is pretty good. However, my favorite Juvia's Place palette, and I haven't even used it that much, but it's really just the color story for me, and that is the Tribe palette. And supposedly this is now discontinued, which I didn't even know. I actually got this one from my cousin when we did that makeup swap, so I didn't even pick this one up, but it wouldn't have been something that I grabbed, but I'm honestly really glad that she got it for me because one, now it's discontinued, and two, because it's a really unique and fun color story, especially for my personal makeup collection. And this is what the Tribe palette looks like. It is so much fun. It's so beautiful. This shade right here in the middle is by far my favorite. It's kind of like a duochrome or a duochrome, but really impressed with the Juvia's Place formula. It's just not a brand that I really gravitate towards. I think the packaging is absolutely stunning. I love how much detail they go into for their packaging. And honestly, I love how unique their color stories are, but they're just not color stories that I gravitate towards. Like I said, I do feel a little bit like intimidated by their palettes. But anyways, those are all of the eyeshadow palettes that I have, 2 or more. Okay, how do I word this? It is so hard to word for some reason. Those are all of the eyeshadow palettes that I do have from a brand that I have 2 or more palettes from. I hope that makes sense. I only wanted to focus on brands that I had 2 or more palettes from because obviously how would I choose one if I only have one? I definitely want to do this on the opposite spectrum where if I had to declutter one, which one would it be? Because that sounds like fun. Let me know if you would be interested in that because I've kind of already like drafted which palettes I would choose. But I hope you enjoyed. Let me know which palettes you would keep from each brand in your collection that you have more than 2 palettes from. This was a lot of fun. I always love filming eyeshadow palettes themed videos. I think they're a lot of fun and I think you guys enjoy them too. But if you did enjoy, please do give this video a thumbs up. And I also hope that you'll subscribe. Please just like my videos if you can and comment. It really does help my channel grow and get out there to other viewers, to other audiences. And it would mean so much to me if I could grow my channel. That's definitely one of my goals. So I appreciate all of you. Thank you so much for clicking on this video and take care, and I will go ahead and see you in my next video. Bye.